Hey guys, how are you guys doing today? So in this video I'm going to explain you how to make Robux in 2024 with 3 different ways in Roblox. So the first one is making a game. Now making a game can be quite a challenge, especially if you're a beginner developer. So the first tip I would give when it comes to making a game is to always have a plan. I've seen a lot of developers, anything, people that I know that when they start a game, they just don't make a plan and they can end up doing whatever they want for stupid ass reasons. So, to be honest, what you need to do is you can download Roblox Studio, which is the first step, open up a little base plate, do your own thing. It can be either building, scripting, whatever you want, just make your game fun and exciting and you will just need to set up your game properly and make it popular. Now, of course, in order to make a game exciting and fun, you will need building and scripting as I mentioned, but of course, you can add many other stuff to your game. A game without scripting is technically a game that you can just walk around in a map, and a game without a map is just a game with who has like other stuff. I don't know. To be honest, I haven't seen a game with only scripting. Really, I haven't seen a game with only scripting. It's quite rare to see that. But to be honest, you if you have these two in your game, trust me, it will be popular and or at least it will make you a lot of Robux. So you will need to understand how to set up your game because that's actually a really hard step that many developers fail and end up quitting their projects. So you will need to advertise it properly. Let's say that you have a budget. Uh, I recommend have a budget of around 10,000 Robux. Now you will need to make an ad and run it for as many days as you can. It doesn't matter how much Robux you spend each day, but trust me, making your ad run for a lot of days is that what counts. I've seen a lot of people failing at this step because they end up spending a lot of Robux on an ad that runs for like 2 or 3 days, thinking that it will earn a good amount of visit. But the thing is that you don't want that. If you set up an ad that runs for a lot of days, then the players that will see the game will have a much higher chance to stay and play your game other days, which will end up making you a lot of Robux and of course a lot of visits. When you it's actually what happens to you as well. Let's say that you click an ad on Roblox and you will end up in a game. If you see that game has a lot of visits, won't you actually join it? I mean, I would personally. And if you find if you find it fun, the thumbnail, the name, I'm pretty sure you will join. But if you see a game with like 10 visits or 20 visits, I don't think you will actually click the join. You will think that this game is probably poorly made or it's just bad quality. I don't know. But the thing is that you just need to advertise it properly. And you can also try a different way if you don't have Robux, because this is also a beginner tutorial on how to actually make Robux without a budget. Now, if you don't have a budget, of course, you can use other free ways. You can either download a software, a video software, make a small trailer about your game, and upload it to all the platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, everything. Just try to advertise it as possible. And also, I would recommend make a Discord server about your game, um, and try to get as many people there join so they can just play your game anytime they want. So I think that's the first step of how to make your game and how to set up it properly so you can actually make it popular in the future. So the second way is specializing in something. So this can either be building, GFX, scripting, VFX, animations, everything you can pretty much. So specializing in something can actually be quite a challenge, especially when it comes to scripting or VFX, because what matters there is experience. But let's just start with building. in building, you can make your own models because you will need to build your map that's actually unique, and of course, it's made by you. So in order to do that, you will need to download a 3D software. I recommend use Blender, which is the most popular one right now, but you can also use Maya or any other 3D software you like. Um, but of course, Blender can also be quite good with animating and VFX as well. So after you learn how to make your own models, you will need to learn how to use them properly in order to build a map. Now, I'm gonna give you a couple of tips on how to build because I I'm a builder. But if you want an individual video of me showing you exactly how to build, and I'm gonna be giving you some tips and tricks about that, please just comment down below. So the first thing is you will need to use your models in a correct way. You will need to have some borders, maybe some trees. It depends on really the map. And of course you will need to have a plan. A plan with a map without a plan is nothing, really. I mean, you can go freestyle, you can just freestyle a couple stuff, I just counter some things around, but trust me, I don't think that will actually end up in something good, and it will also end up in something good if you're experienced. If you're not experienced, then you are probably gonna end up in something weird. But of what in building, what also matters is experience um and your skills. Really, if you're skilled, if you have talent, and if you actually work really hard to make maps, I'm pretty sure you will make the best maps ever. And it also, what also matters is time. You will need to spend a good amount of time in your maps, polish them, everything, just make them look good. And also, a big tip that I'm gonna give you right now is don't make your maps really detailed. I mean, you can do that, but trust me, you don't want. I have done that to many maps that I've made because I was really excited about the map, and I forgot the fact that I make the game that I made the map really detailed, and the player cannot even walk. It's actually quite weird about it. I don't know why, but sometimes it ends up in a really bad way. But if you're making a game, or actually, if you yeah, if you're making a game that you would just like to showcase your map itself, you can just make it really detailed and make it really nice. But if you want to make a functional game, you'll need to make a map that's actually spacious so your player can actually walk. So I think that's pretty much all for building. And let's move on to scripting. Now scripting, yeah. To be honest, I really don't know how to say about that. I'm a quite a scripter for around a year or two, and I would say that I'm not quite experienced with that. To be honest, I've seen um I know actually people that are scripters for more than 8 years now, and they're still find some stuff difficult to do, and they also get a lot of errors. In programming, really, you can't be perfect. I mean, you can be perfect on some simple things, but if you're trying to make some more advanced and more complex thing, I don't really think that you can actually that you can actually make them with ease, at least. I mean, of course you can make them if you put your if you work your ass off, but of course it's not really going to be as good as it's not gonna be pretty much, yeah. Anyways, um so in order to script, you will need to follow tutorials and then practice with making your own smaller projects. If you just keep watching tutorials, you will just end up following orders pretty much, and you will not be able to develop your own creative thinking and making your own stuff. So after you learn how to use the basics, try to just make a small game about it. Come on, I mean, you don't have to make it like too insane. I mean, just make it simple, make it nice, and make it that all the scripting works. I really don't know if there's some more stuff to actually cover up with scripting. If you want more details about it, you can also go um, to other YouTubers that are more experienced with scripting instead of me. GFX making. GFX making is quite popular these days, and you'll of course find some people that they are looking for people to hire that they're GFX makers and they can make them a banner or thumbnail or profile picture, anything pretty much. Now, making a profile banner or like a profile picture um, is actually pretty good. It's actually a pretty good deal, actually. If you actually think about it, there's a lot of people who are who want to actually make a GFX, um, and pretty much you can just make a lot of Robux out of it, especially for thumbnails, and especially if you get hired by a YouTuber that makes videos weekly or at least constantly. You will end up making a lot of Robux from that, or actual money, because really you can make Robux with in 2024 with these ways that I'm actually going to mention. But of course, you can actually make all your own money from that, especially if you want to retire your parents. Um, so GFX making can actually be quite stressful because of course you will need to use Blender, but you will also need to use another software. I recommend use Photoshop to just make the visuals a little bit better, but you can also use Photopea if you don't want to buy Photoshop because Photoshop is actually quite expensive. So yeah, pretty much that is all for these for these jobs. You can also visit hidden devs or raw devs and Talent Hub, of course, if you want to get hired by other people. So yeah, if you really want to hire or get hired or anything, you will need to visit those three. So and also, of course, get a lot of commissions. Make sure to just get as many as commissions as you can that you can actually do, so you can earn a lot of Robux. So thank you, and let's move to the next one and last. Okay, so the third and last way is making search. Now, making search is actually kind of an underrated method of how to use Robux because of course you will need a budget. Now, to be honest, it's not really in this method is actually how to use your Robux in order to make some Robux, like an investment pretty much. But to be honest, if you play a couple of donation games that are actually quite popular these days, you can actually make a really good budget and end up making a lot of Robux out of this. So let's start with making search. How do you actually make search? You have to go to do I need like a Photoshop, Photopea, anything? What do I need? Well, actually, making search have become an easy thing to do because I'm gonna show you a website that it's actually free. It's free to use, and you can put whatever you want. You can have free shirts. You can have anything. You can make your own stuff. You can change colors. I'm gonna be showing you right now. Okay, so this is the website. So as you can see, we have hundreds of shirts, and you can actually end up choosing one of you want and changing its color, changing text. You can do whatever you want with that. And the thing is that it's actually free. You can download your set, you can just upload it, and that's it. In order to make your exert, you will need a minimum amount of I think 5 Robux. I'm not actually 100% sure, but it was 5 Robux when I last checked. I don't know if it has rise because I don't really use search so often. But if you actually have a group or if you have like a Discord server about selling search, that is going to be the most amazing thing because you will end up making so much stuff from this method because a lot of people just want to buy shirts in order to finish up their outfits or cosplays, so making a lot of shirts with different kind of style will actually help you raise a lot of Robux. And actually a good tip about that is to make your prices as low as possible as you can. 5 robux actually. I think that's the minimum amount of that you can actually do. You can do lower, but 5 robux is the minimum. Because of course you don't always take them. You can also take them free. That don't. But you can also get people to buy it multiple times. So really, just do that. I mean, I think it's a great way. It's a pretty underrated method, but to be honest, I've seen hundreds of people making a living out of selling shirts. And if you want a further tutorial on how to use the website, I'm actually gonna be making a tutorial um in the future. So if you guys want me to make it right away, I of course can. um, and of course how to upload them, how to set them up properly. um, and of course if you have around 100 robux, you can make your own group and sell them there. And then I just advertise your groups in, in different like Discord servers. And yeah, pretty much you can also just customize them as well. You can just search up a template in Google, download it and make your own style. But it can actually be um, quite challenging. But of course, if you want to learn how to make search um, in the future, you can actually try that in order to just develop your thinking, to develop your skills. Pretty much, this is actually what I can mention about making search. And that's pretty much the video. Thank you so much for actually watching this video. And what can I say? We'll meet up to the next video.